This is 10,000 Hours of Indie, and more specifically the 80 Bands Around the World project. I've set myself the task of seeing 80 independent bands from around the world. There's no time limit, but I can only see one band or artist from each country, and I can't put money into the pocket of Ticketmaster. Simple, right? Well, I'm also based in Finland, which makes it tougher, so I'll need help from any touring bands that come through or event organisers that can help get me to my total of 80. Give me a follow on socials and get in touch if you can help. Links are in the show description. This episode is part of the 2026 Podcastathon, the world's largest podcast charity initiative, bringing together podcasters globally to raise awareness for charitable causes. When asked to select a charity to represent, I chose music-related, obviously, sEMICOLCHEIAS. The charity offers support to musicians and people working in the industry, from mental health and addiction recovery services to support for basic living expenses like rent. Please click the links in the show description to find out more about both Podcastathon and sEMICOLCHEIAS. So this live show was again while I was in London a few weeks back, and this time I was visiting what seemed to be a quite new venue, Club Cheek in Brixton. The venue was looking clean and tidy and had some decent beers both on tap and bottled, staff were excellent, and there were actually enough toilets in a venue, which almost never happens. This was an all-day event organised by Not One Step Back, whose Instagram profile claims they are presenting you with the very best in genre-bending, left-field bands through semi-regular nights in London. Let's see. So, as I mentioned, this was an indoor all-dayer, but I was going to see two specific bands to cover for the 80 Bands Around the World project. Portuguese noise rock, free jazz experimental four-piece, dUAS, sEMIcOLCHEIAS, iNVERTIDAS, DSCI, as I'll refer to it from now because I won't be able to say that again, and a band who have appeared on the podcast previously when they released their album last year, Irish math noise rock 5-piece God Alone. So the ticket price for this one was £15 in advance or £20 on the door, and that was more than reasonable in my opinion for 5 bands, originally 6. This was a pretty intense musical gathering of bands from the heavy end of rock. I was a little apprehensive, as I like to be able to chill between bands and maybe wander to a more chilled stage, but there was a long enough gap between bands to get fresh air, or a smoke-induced coma as it seemed to be, in their large covered outside space. The first band I saw was DSCI from Portugal. Drums, guitar, bass and saxophone were the main instruments in this wonderfully weird but incredibly watchable set. This was mainly instrumental, with great riffs, intensity and a little weirdness. This is a band who have been touring for a long time, albeit with several lineup changes through the years, and it shows. I think this was probably the first time I've seen sticky tape used as an instrument, but I hope it won't be the last, as it made for fascinating viewing and listening. By the time God Alone took to the stage, I had already spoken to the band and was excited to finally see what they did on stage. As a 5-piece comprising drums, bass, 2 guitars and keyboard plus 2 vocals, this was going to be a big sound. The vocalists faced each other at the front of the stage, and immediately the bass player Kyan's strap broke. After a little emergency fixing, they were underway. Lead singer Jake O'Driscoll is intense, feeling every note as if it were part of his body and leaping into the audience on many occasions as though the stage couldn't keep him captive. They sounded amazing, rattling through many songs from the album to a crowd almost as emotionally invested in the show as the band. This was a really great show, and I wish I'd been able to see the bands who played earlier too. Oh well, next time. And have I ticked off any new countries? Well, yes. Country number 6 is Portugal, and country number 7 is Ireland. I managed to chat with both bands, and the first band, DSCI, I spoke to after their set. Can you introduce your band and what you do in under a minute?
Our band has a very strange and long name. It's called sEMIcOLCHEIAS, iNVERTIDAS. That means in English 2 reversed semiquavers in British English, or in American English 2 reversed 16th notes, or inverted. Actually, they're like mirrored. So we've been playing for almost 19 years. A lot of changes through the years, a lot of people, different instruments. The guitar player and the bass player have been the same since the beginning. Nowadays we are four since last 6-7 years, and we have a drummer, bass, guitar, and saxophone. And we play this mix of noise rock, post-punk, post-rock, free jazz, post-hardcore, whatever you want to put it.
What are the band's influences? Or maybe what were they when you started and what are they now? Because they've probably changed in 19 years.
Yeah, of course. Also, people change a lot, but I think in the beginning, we were like more like a collective than a band. So people were coming in and out, like we didn't have always the same lineup. And people were coming from very different backgrounds, each one. So some had like learned music, others not. Some were coming from punk hardcore, others more like experimental post-rock or even jazz formation. So it was a big clash of people and constantly changing and playing a lot live, like very direction for live. And in the beginning, like half structured, half improvised. Nowadays it's not so much like this, but it was always like a bit improvisation and structure.
Hence the free jazz thing.
Yeah, let's put it that way. Yes.
Yeah. You're in London tonight. You've played one show before this.
Yes.
Tonight, and then you've got another 2 shows or 3 shows, you said?
2 shows more.
How do you find the crowds in this country, the audience?
Yeah, it's very recent. So yesterday was different because the place was amazing. We played with 2 great acts from Brighton. There were not so many people, but people enjoyed and actually it doesn't matter the quantity of people, it's the quality.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, but today is much more crowded and yeah, we felt the energy, people dancing and so more intense show today, I think, because of this, because we feed a lot from the audience. It's an exchange of it.
Do you adapt your set list each night or do you play the same?
Usually, like when we are touring, we try to change the set list every night a bit, but we actually don't have so many songs because the band exists for a long time and we have a lot of records, but we change a lot, so not everyone knows how to play the old songs. So actually today we played all the songs that we know, but sometimes we reduce the set and actually play the same set list, though we always improvise a bit, so it's always different.
I thought you were really intense. I really enjoyed the set. So if you could recommend one track from your band to a new listener to get them into the band, what track would it be?
So from the last record, I think the first song of the record, which is called in Portuguese das duas, três. It's hard to translate. It's an expression, an idiomatic expression. It means like out of 2 options, you choose the third option.
Okay.
And the song itself has like 3 very different parts, so I can think, and it's short song, so I think it can, for a new listener, maybe just get a little bit of...
just get a feel for what you do. Yeah, perfect. What is the most rock and roll thing that the band has ever done?
I would say existing 19 years, because the rock bands usually don't last more than 3, 4, 5 years.
No, that's fair. Yeah.
So I would say the most rock and roll thing is that we're still playing after all this time.
Okay, so can you recommend another band from your native country that listeners to the podcast should check out?
Yeah, of course, there's a lot of good stuff, very different stuff. First one that comes to my mind is duo drums saxophone. We released the record with them, split record, which we are selling tonight. It's already from 2018, but we played a lot with them, and they are kind of our brothers. And it's really cool music. Like it's actually 2 guitar players, but there's no guitars. There's drums and baritone sax.
Wow!
With the loop station and effects. They play with masks, and it's great.
And what was the name of the band?
Par Par. Par Par. So actually, like every song they have, it's always a repetition of 3-letter words like mir or pai pai. Like all the songs have, and the band is called Par Par.
Okay, fantastic. I will check
it out. Doesn't make any, like, actually par means couple.
And the final question, what's the best way for people to find out more about your band and music?
I would say like for listening, for sure Bandcamp is what we keep more updated. Almost our discography and for free download and listening. To keep up with us nowadays, I think it's Instagram.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And God Alone, I spoke to before their set. Can you introduce the band and what you do in under a minute?
Yes, we're a band called God Alone. We're from Cork. We've been going like nearly 10 years now. We're just like really a band of buddies. We play sort of math rock adjacent music. That's just really fun.
What are the band's influences?
Everything, loads of different things. We really like bands like Fugazi. Big influence for us was the first Folds album. When we started, Cork band Ultra Plagues, another Irish band called 10 Past 7. They're big influences, but like we'd have take stuff from every genre and every artist if we can.
Yeah, how was your trip here? You were in Brighton yesterday, I heard.
Yeah, we had a day off in Brighton on Thursday. Like we flew over a day early and it was pretty easy. Relaxing day. Gig last night was great. It was essentially in like a living room. Like it was a record shop that felt like a living room. It was great. Really, really loved it. And today's been fantastic so far. So great trip so far.
Excellent. Are you excited about playing tonight?
Yes, of course.
I see you noticed some people, so you've got some people coming to see you who knew you already.
Yeah, well, I hope so, yeah. So far, yes.
If you could recommend one track from your band to a new listener, which one should they start with?
I'd say Yes I off our self-titled EP that we put out in 2019, I think. It covers all the bases. There's a bit of math, there's a bit of fun, there's a bit of metal, there's a bit of dancing. I think that's
probably never play it, ever.
Yeah.
So people should hear it but never see it.
Yeah. There you go. I think it's great. That's all that matters.
Okay. What is the most rock and roll thing the band has ever done?
I got sick out of a van in Nottingham twice, which was pretty good. That's pretty good going at separate occasions. That's pretty rock and roll.
Are you allergic to Nottingham?
I think so, yeah. Or maybe I'm just allergic to the journey from Nottingham to Derby. Because I think that was what happened both times.
Right.
Yeah, I got put on a timeout in a pub in Glasgow where they just said, look, can you please go eat something and come back? And they didn't hit me or anything. So that was pretty good.
Chicken break.
Chicken break. This isn't really band related, but it's about vomiting. I once felt like I was going to get sick, and I ran from my bed to the toilet, and I got sick on the way, and I slipped on my own vomit, and then fell flat on my face, and then threw up again. And I like figuring out new ways to throw up.
I think he wins.
So proud of you.
So can you recommend another band from Ireland that listeners should check out?
Loads. I'm going to go with Shifting. They're my favourite noise rock band, kind of krautrocky adjacent, kind of patterny stuff. I think they're brilliant. They're my favourite musicians of all time. I love Shifting.
I'm going to recommend 10 Past 7, who are also my favourite, probably one of my favourite bands ever as well. They're like a math rock band from Ireland, big influence on us, and I talk about them in every single interview. We Come in Pieces from Limerick. They're absolutely amazing. They're one of the best bands in the world ever.
Baylor, great band. Adabes and Shank.
So finally, what is the best way for people to find out more about your music?
I suppose Instagram, is the best social media site for us. Or you can just talk to us at any point, really. Yeah, we will respond to you if you talk to us.
You're still not big enough to be unapproachable.
Yeah.
I'll give you my address there. You send me post.
Yeah. Mail order.
Awesome. That is it. Thank you.